Did you know that your house can smell musty, even though it is clean and tidy? That's right. And the worst part, maybe you're doing everything right when cleaning, but making small mistakes or ignoring details that are creating that stuffy, damp, and unpleasant smell that never seems to leave the room. What if I told you that there are 7 silent villains spread throughout the rooms of your house, sabotaging all your cleaning and bringing that hidden smell of a closed house? Some are in your closet, others in the bathroom, and there's one that's exactly where you least expect it. In this video, I will show you what are these 7 causes of musty smell, and of course, how to resolve each of them with practical and accessible solutions. It doesn't matter if you live in a house or apartment, if you have a child, a pet, or live alone. These tips will change the way you take care of your home from today onwards. Oh, and stay with me until the end, because number 4 is the most common of all, and almost no one suspects that it is the root of the problem. Have you ever walked into your house after a long day, taken a deep breath, and smelled that strange smell? Kind of stuffy, humid, that seems to be coming from the walls, closets, or even the mattress? It's that musty smell. And the most frustrating thing is that the house is often clean. Everything is tidy, the floor is shiny, the bathrooms are in order, but the air is still heavy, with this odor that bothers you and seems to stick to your clothes, sheets, and even your hair. If this happens to you, know that it is not a lack of care. This problem is much more common than it seems, and it has specific causes which in the rush of everyday life end up going unnoticed. The truth is that there are certain habits, objects, and even products that we use that contribute to the emergence of mold without us noticing. And that's why, even when cleaning regularly, the smell persists. But calm down, because there is a solution. Today I will show you 7 things that are making your home smell musty, and how to fix each of them without mystery and without having to spend a fortune on expensive products. There are simple adjustments, routine changes, and homemade tricks that will transform the environment in your home. And there's more. The 4th tip. It's a common trap that's present in almost every home, but many people don't even realize it's linked to mold. Once you know what it is, it will make perfect sense, and you will understand why the smell never went away before. So stay with me until the end, because these tips will help you eliminate the musty smell once and for all, leaving your home lighter, healthier, and with that fresh, pleasant air that we love so much. Tip 1. Clothes stored damp, the mistake that starts on the clothesline. One of the main causes of musty smells in the home begins precisely where you least expect it, in the clothes that we store with that slight humidity. Do you know when a piece seems dry but is still cold to the touch? Well, it may have moisture trapped in the fibers, and when it is folded and stored in the wardrobe, this moisture becomes a breeding ground for mold. The problem is that this situation goes unnoticed. Sometimes, in the hustle and bustle of our routine, we collect our clothes from the line at the end of the afternoon, when the weather has cooled or the sun is gone, and we believe that everything is dry. But this half-drying is enough to cause a cascade effect. The item starts to give off a slight musty smell. This smell spreads to the other clothes in the closet. The closet absorbs this odor, and the next thing you know, your entire house starts to have that stuffy air, even with everything apparently clean. The solution here starts with the clothesline. Never, ever store clothes that have any signs of dampness. Ideally, they should be completely dry, with that warm touch from the sun or the natural heat of the environment. If the weather is cold and your clothes take a long time to dry, it's worth leaving them on the line for longer, or even using an iron as an ally, especially for bedding and towels. The heat from the iron eliminates moisture and also helps prevent the proliferation of bacteria. Additionally, pay extra attention to hand-washed clothes or thicker items, such as jeans and sweatshirts. They tend to take longer to dry on the inside, even when they already look dry on the outside. And here's an important point. If your closet is not well ventilated, the risk of mold is even greater. Therefore, after the clothes are stored, it is worth leaving the wardrobe door open for a few minutes the next day, just to ensure that there is no hidden accumulation of moisture. This helps the air circulate and avoids that wet stored smell. The direct benefit of this action is clear. You eliminate one of the main sources of musty smell, protect your clothes, keep your wardrobe smelling good, and also save money as you avoid washing items again because of the bad smell. Not to mention the feeling of opening the closet and smelling that real cleanliness and not a perfume over the mustiness. Preventing mold starts with attention to detail, and storing wet clothes is one of the most common mistakes, but also one of the easiest to solve. Tip 2. Shower curtain. Hidden mold in the bathroom. The bathroom is, without a doubt, the most humid room in the house, and it is precisely this constant humidity that makes it one of the places most prone to the appearance of mold. Now tell me, when was the last time you washed or changed the shower curtain? If the answer is I don't remember or it's been a while, know that this could be one of the biggest sources of the musty smell in your home. The shower curtain is in direct contact with bath water, hot steam, and residue from products such as soap, shampoo, and conditioner. Not only does it get wet every day, it also often remains damp for hours, stuck to the floor or folded over itself. And this environment is perfect for the proliferation of fungi and bacteria. Even if the rest of the bathroom is clean, the curtain can give off a musty smell that spreads throughout the room. And if the bathroom is small and not well ventilated, this odor easily spreads to the bedroom or the nearby hallway. The first step to solving this is to create the habit of fully open the curtain after showering, leaving it stretched out to dry faster. Avoid leaving it piled up in a corner or stuck with clothespins. This keeps it moist for longer. The second step is to include the curtain washing in your cleaning routine. The ideal frequency varies according to use. In homes with more people or in bathrooms that are used every day, the ideal is to wash every fortnight. If your curtain is made of plastic or vinyl, you can wash it by hand with a sponge, warm water, and detergent, or put it in the washing machine with old towels. They help with friction and remove mold better. Fabric curtains can be washed normally, but it is essential to dry them well in the sun before replacing them. And here's an extra precaution. Always check the rod and hooks. They also often accumulate mold on the ends or folds, especially if they are metallic. A cloth with white vinegar easily solves this problem. The direct benefit of this practice is immediate. You feel the air in the bathroom lighter, the smell of humidity disappears, and you also prevent mold from spreading to towels, carpets, and other nearby fabrics. Furthermore, taking care of the shower curtain prolongs its useful life and avoids that dingy look that gives the impression of an unkempt bathroom, even if it is clean. Eliminating the musty smell starts where the water sits the longest, and in the bathroom, this means taking care of the curtain as an essential part of your cleaning. Tip 3. Flavorings and sprays. When hiding the smell only makes everything worse. The house starts to smell slightly musty, and many people's first reaction is to run to spray a scented spray or turn on an air freshener. After all, nothing like a nice smell to solve the problem, right? Wrong. In fact, this common practice could be intensifying the bad smell and making the situation worse without you even realizing it. The problem with air fresheners used incorrectly is simple. They do not eliminate the cause of mold. They just mask the odor for a few hours. And in the meantime, the mold continues to grow, hidden in the corners of the house, on the fabrics, on the walls, inside the furniture. And the smell returns, sometimes even worse. The environment is left with a musty perfume that even you can no longer identify properly. Additionally, some sprays and diffusers, especially very sweet or oily-based ones, can settle on damp surfaces and contribute to the accumulation of dirt and grease in the air, creating an even more favorable environment for mold development. This happens especially in poorly ventilated places, such as small bathrooms, closets, and closets. So, how to do it right? First, never use air fresheners as a first measure. They should be the icing on the cake. the finishing touch after a good cleaning and addressing the real causes of mold. Before perfuming, it is essential to identify the source of the smell. Damp fabric, moldy wood, unventilated walls, objects stored for a long time. Solve this first. After that, it's worth using natural flavorings, preferably with ingredients that help fight fungi. For example, apple cider vinegar, baking soda, cloves, and lavender essence are good options. You can make a homemade mixture, put it in a spray bottle, and apply it to your surroundings. Already clean and dry, you can also place small pots of bicarbonate or activated charcoal in strategic points. They help neutralize odors and absorb moisture. The direct benefit of changing this habit is that your house feels truly clean, not just scented on top of the dirt. When the musty smell disappears at the root, any extra scent you add will be much more pleasant, smooth, and long-lasting. Because deep down, we don't just want to disguise it. We want to live in a house that breathes lightness, that smells of real care. And for that, you need to clean before perfuming. Tip 4. Lack of daily ventilation. Mold starts in still air. This tip is simple but powerful, and unfortunately, many people underestimate it. You know that colder or busier day when we leave the windows closed? That room that stays locked all day with no air circulation? Well, the lack of daily ventilation. It is one of the biggest causes of musty smells in the home, and also one of the easiest to solve. Mold grows in closed, dark, damp environments. When the air does not circulate, the humidity in the environment, whether from bathing, breathing, drying clothes, or even humid weather, is concentrated in corners, on walls, on fabrics. And if you don't have air exchange, this humidity accumulates, creating a perfect environment for fungi and bacteria. The result? Musty smell, feeling of heavy air, discomfort, and in more serious cases, even attacks of rhinitis or allergies. And the most curious thing is that people often do everything: clean, wash, use disinfectant, smell the air, but don't open the windows. And then, even with everything clean, the air remains charged. The solution is basic and free. Open the windows every day, even on cold days, even if it's just for 20 minutes in the morning. The important thing is to allow the air to circulate, for the humidity to go away, for the environment to breathe. If the room does not have a window or is poorly ventilated, open the doors, turn on a fan pointed outside for a few minutes, and if possible, use natural dehumidifiers, such as small pots with coarse salt or silica gel. And here's an extra tip. When you wake up, don't make the bed right away. Let her breathe for at least 30 minutes with the sheet pulled down. During the night, our bodies sweat and release moisture, and this moisture trapped between fabrics is an invitation for mold to take hold, especially in mattresses and pillows. The benefits of this tip are immense. In addition to eliminating the musty smell, you improve air quality, prevent the proliferation of fungi, and create a much lighter, fresher, and healthier environment. Your house starts to have that windy smell of an airy, lively house. Because cleaning is essential, but letting the air circulate is what really transforms the energy in your home. Tip 5. Rugs and carpets, the mold that lives under your feet. They are cozy, decorative, add that touch of comfort to the environment, but they can also be real silent villains when it comes to the smell of mold. Carpets and rugs accumulate dust, grease, skin debris, sweat, and moisture as the days go by. And with the lack of ventilation and adequate cleaning, they become one of the main sources of bad smells at home. And the most complicated thing? Sometimes you mop the whole house, clean the furniture, open the windows, but that stuffy smell remains, and you don't even think of the carpet as the culprit. But the truth is that it may be absorbing moisture from the environment, or even from the soles of your feet and shoes, especially on humid or rainy days. And this humidity, along with accumulated waste, becomes the ideal environment for mold to settle. The problem worsens on thicker rugs with close weaves, or on carpets that cover large areas. These then require even more attention. They retain moisture longer and are more difficult to dry completely. The solution starts with a simple routine. Vacuum carpets frequently, preferably twice a week, especially in homes with pets or children. And at least once a month, do a deeper cleaning. If you can't wash it, wipe it with a cloth lightly dampened with a mixture of water, vinegar, and a little alcohol. This combination helps disinfect and neutralize the smell. Afterwards, leave the rug in a well-ventilated place, or if possible, take it to the sun. The sun is one of the best allies in combating mold and bad smells. Another powerful tip is to turn the rug every now and then. This allows the underside to also breathe and prevents moisture from accumulating between the carpet and the floor, which is where mold likes to hide most. In homes with fixed carpets, the ideal is to use dehumidifiers in the room and use a vacuum cleaner with a HEPA filter, which retains fine particles and helps keep the air cleaner. And when you notice that the smell persists even after cleaning, perhaps it's time to evaluate whether that rug or carpet is still salvageable, or whether it's better to make room for something new and healthier. The benefit of keeping carpets clean and airy: your home feels lighter, more fragrant, and you also take care of your family's health, especially those with respiratory problems. The air improves, the environment comes to life, and cleaning yields much more. Because sometimes mold is right under our feet, and we don't even notice it. Tip 6. Storing damp or dirty objects. The mistake hidden in the closet. You know that dish towel that was used and kept just for a little while? The bath towel that was slightly damp, but you decided to fold it and put it in the closet. Or even that bag, backpack, or sneakers stored right after being used without being 100% clean or dry. Well, it's small actions like these that end up creating silent pockets of mold inside the cabinets and drawers of the house. What happens is that every wet object, no matter how small the amount of water present, releases steam and creates a stuffy microclimate when stored. This steam, when trapped inside a closed cabinet without ventilation, favors the proliferation of fungi, especially on surfaces such as wood, fabric, leather, and plastic. And then comes the cycle that seems endless. The closet starts to smell bad, the clothes absorb this smell, the sheets smell like they have been stored, and even after washing everything, the smell comes back, because the focus is still there, hidden. And it's not just fabrics. Kitchen utensils such as pots, wooden boards, colanders, and even pans can cause the same effect if stored damp. And the most dangerous thing, the mold that grows in these environments may not be visible immediately, but the smell will give it away. And the air quality inside the house begins to be compromised. So how to avoid it? Firstly, make it a habit to only store items that are 100% dry. If in doubt, leave it to air for a while longer. It's better to leave something out of place for a few hours than to compromise the entire contents of the closet. In the case of towels and dishcloths, the ideal is to wash them frequently and leave them to dry well, preferably in the sun. In closets, the use of small pots with sodium bicarbonate, activated charcoal, or silica gel helps absorb moisture from the environment. It's also worth opening the doors for a few minutes once a week to allow air circulation. And when you notice any sign of mold, visual or smell, remove everything. Clean with white vinegar or diluted bleach, depending on the material of the furniture, and dry well before rearranging. The benefit is immense. By eliminating hidden humidity, you preserve objects, avoid losses due to contamination, protect the respiratory health of the house, and what's more, you eliminate the musty smell that seemed impossible to resolve. Sometimes mold doesn't come from outside. It is born precisely in the small choices of everyday life, within the closets that we open and close without realizing the impact this can have. Tip 7. Use natural dehumidifiers, the constant trick against invisible mold. You can clean everything, ventilate the house, dry clothes, open closets, and still feel that the air is heavy, humid, with that musty background that insists on coming back. And do you know why? because the problem may be in the air you don't see, and which carries constant silent humidity, difficult to control with cleaning and ventilation alone. This is where a simple, cheap, and extremely effective solution comes in: natural dehumidifiers. They do not replace cleaning, of course, but they work as powerful allies in preventing mold, especially in more closed places such as wardrobes, drawers, wall corners, pantries, and even inside shoe racks. And the best part, you don't have to spend a lot. There are several options you can make at home, using affordable ingredients that you probably already have lying around. The best known is the pot with baking soda. Just put some in an open container. It can be a plastic cup or a saucer, and leave it in the closet, behind furniture, or in the dampest corners. Change every 15 days. Bicarbonate absorbs moisture from the air and neutralizes odors with surprising efficiency. Another super effective option is activated charcoal, which can be placed in fabric bags or small perforated pots. It also absorbs moisture and eliminates odors without strong perfume, making it ideal for those with allergies. And there is still the silica gel, those little balls that come in bags and electronics packaging. They can be reused and also help keep environments dry. If you want a more aromatic touch, you can mix clove with bicarbonate or place small pieces of neutral soap in strategic locations. In addition to absorbing moisture, they also leave a light, pleasant smell in the air. And here's the secret: keep these dehumidifiers always in use, even during the driest periods of the year. They act as a constant defense, preventing moisture from building up again and preventing mold from having a chance to take hold. Especially in more humid regions or in homes with little natural light, this care makes all the difference. The benefit? A cool, dry environment with a pleasant smell, and above all, a protected home. Because mold is sneaky. It grows in silence, in lack of attention. But when you act consistently, using simple and effective tools, you prevent it from having any chance. Mold is fought routinely. And natural dehumidifiers are like invisible sentinels, always there, working for you. Now tell me, were you able to identify any of these 7 causes in your home? Because sometimes the musty smell isn't from what we didn't clean, but from what we didn't even realize needed attention. And that's exactly where the problem lies. In this video, you saw that mold can arise from clothes, carpets, lack of ventilation, poorly stored objects, even from your daily habits. But the good news is that all of this has a solution. And the best part, they are simple, affordable solutions that you can start applying today with what you already have at home. When we understand the origin of the problem, everything changes. The musty smell, which seemed impossible to resolve, begins to disappear. The air in the house becomes lighter, the environment more pleasant, and even your mood improves. Because a home that breathes well is a home that transmits peace, organization, care. And now I want to give you a challenge. Which of these 7 tips will you apply first? Tell me here in the comments. And if this video helped you in any way, like it. Share it with that person who keeps complaining about the smell of mold. And of course, subscribe to the channel. Here we talk about a real home, real life, and the small attitudes that transform everyday life. Oh, and if you want more tips like these, to make your home cleaner, more organized, more welcoming, activate the bell so you don't miss the next videos. Every week there is new content, created with great care to inspire you and help you live better in your own home. Remember, mold may be stubborn, but you are much stronger. And with these tips, your home will look the way you deserve it: light, fragrant, and free from that stale smell once and for all.